So in this video of breaking down and drawing anime poses, I chose 2 poses from Pinterest. The 2 being the poses from the TV show Naruto. And there were a bunch of different poses, and I decided to choose these 2. One, the first one being Neji, another character. I think he was in like the first season, but I can't remember. It's been so long since I watched the show. But I chose this pose with him since he's in kind of his martial arts stance. And it's kind of like has kind of like top down angle also. So I wanted to kind of draw that and show how I break down and draw the different shapes to creating that particular pose. And as you see, I did it the usual way where I'm starting out with the head, and I'm drawing the 2 circles for the eyes. And I'm kind of drawing the circle for the chest and the half circle for the waist. I'm kind of just drawing it and trying to break down and figure out the position of the angle of the pose and where it's going. You see I'm adding in the that bottom half, and it's not really like I'm not really drawing it, or at least not really drawing the whole thing, just to show that it's kind of broken in half a little bit. And I wanted to kind of show that you can just draw the full circle and then draw pieces of the other parts of the body, because you're kind of just you're breaking down the shapes. You're trying to figure out how these areas and shapes are in position. Which is why you see me draw the shoulders first. I had the one circle on the bottom and then kind of like the circle that's hidden on the other side to kind of indicate where the arms are going to go. And it's kind of like a fast way of throwing the pose down quickly. So I'm adding the cylinder for the arm, and the circle for the elbows, and the other cylinder for the forearm, and I'm just working my way down, almost kind of like you're building blocks. So I'm drawing in the cylinder for the other arm, cylinder for the forearm on the top. And it's just like you're just throwing it down real fast, just figuring out where everything's positioned. I'm adding in the thumb, blocking out different shapes for the fingers, throwing them in quickly, because you're not really trying to focus on any detail or trying to make it look fancy. You're just throwing it down quickly to get the general idea of the pose before you start to go in and add in those details. Because you can easily just create a bunch of different stick figures and like 25 or 100 different stick figures in different positions, and then later on pick the one you want that you want to decide to use for your final image to add in those details and create the full piece. So I'm adding in the foot, adding in the just like just a shape to indicate that the foot's there. And then cylinder for the leg, and circle for the knee. And usually I'm adding circles pretty much for every joint part. Like the elbows and the knees are typically going to be circles, and I'm just having the cylinders connect to that, because it's basically they're rotating off of that circle. So I want to kind of show that as if it's almost like you're building a toy figure. How the toy figure has like little joints. You want to have like a little joint there. Even though I'm not drawing in the full circle for the knee, I'm just drawing it lightly, and I'm adding in the cylinder where the legs are, just to kind of indicate that it's connected to it, even though you don't have to really show it connected. I'm drawing in the hand, the thumb. Always with that little big part, the palm first, and the fingers. Since the fingers are kind of, it's kind of an open hand, so I kind of just do the shapes in real quick, real fast. Not really too focused on it. Just getting down quick and easy. Just have the pose down really fast. Erasing some of the lines. Now for this pose, this is also top down, and it's kind of foreshortened, but it's kind of in a way where the top part is going to be show bigger than the bottom, because of the angle and the foreshortening that's going on in this picture. And so I start out the usual method with the head, and I'm adding in the line in the center where the eyes are going to go. And you see when I add that center, that center point, you see me where I add the nose. It's kind of also a way for me to know where the nose is going to go, especially when the head is tilted in that position. When you have the both lines, one centered where the eyes are going to go, and then one straight down in the center. It's also an indication of where the nose would go when you're drawing the nose, depending on the position of the head. And I'll do a head tutorial too soon to show like how I do that. And it's a real easy method for figuring out where the nose is going to go in position and whether the face is up or down. So right now I did it the same way. Did a circle for the chest. And because the chest is kind of hidden, I know sometimes because of how this pose looks, it's kind of difficult to see and figure out how to break this pose down, only because he's wearing this is his vest, and a lot of things are hidden under the clothing. But it's kind of easy to figure out. The more you do these poses using these shapes, the easier it is to figure out how to create these shapes and put them together to create the pose. So I did the same way. I'm just adding a little circle for the chest, half circle for the waist. I guess kind of like a half circle for the chest too, even though the circle is kind of hidden behind the head. I'm adding that line where the chest will start. Adding in the fingers. And you see that the arms are kind of going down in towards the floor. It's kind of showing a perspective, which is why the top part of the body is going to be bigger and the bottom part is going to be a little bit smaller. So drawing the hand in, drawing the thumb. And now I'm getting the knee. Just draw a circle. I just drew a quick circle on the side just so I know where the knee is going to go. Kind of wait for me to measure out where the knee is and how far it's going to be towards the body. And I just quickly drew the other leg in. It's fairly simple since it's already bent. So I'm just drawing in the foot, adding the cylinder, connect to the circle for the knee, and darken up a little bit. And since I add the circle on the knee to the other side already, I'm just connecting everything to it. Like the cylinder is hidden behind the arm and the body, so I just kind of drew some quick lines to show that the leg is there, and the cylinder for the leg coming forward. I'll pass the hand on the bottom. Just darken the lines, show that. I'm adding in the cylinder for the arm above. That's going to be holding the sword. So I drew the arm a little bit and I decided to draw the line for the sword first. That way I can kind of measure out and see how far the arm is going to go towards the sword. I don't want to draw the hand out and then the sword will be further from the body or whatever. And I mean, the sword could be further from the body. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. I mean, right now I was trying to just make it fairly close to the reference. That's why I just drew the sword there, but I could have just still drew the hand out and then add sword later on and just position it, as I see fit. But for this instance, I'm just trying to make it a little bit closer to reference. I'm just drawing out the line, get the sword and the handle, roughing the shape out of the sword. And then I'm drawing in the knuckles so I can draw the fingers connecting or gripping the sword. First cylinder, second cylinder, third cylinder, fourth cylinder. I'm just working my way from the cylinders to create those fingers. Just to draw it real quick. I'm adding in the thumb, holding it. I'm just drawing in the palm. Adding the other thumb. And even in the reference, the arm is further down, but um, at this point is you can make changes as you go. It's mainly just you just breaking down the shapes and figuring it out, and then after that you can erase as you go and readjust it. So if I was to go over this and make it exactly like the reference, I'll erase that top arm, make it bring it, have the hand come down lower, and make changes like that. But that's it for this video. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like button, subscribe, comment for any other videos you want to see or any other poses you want to see, and take care.